Take away, take away, take away. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm talking in the mic because the mic needs talking to. The mic needs talking to. I am here today to just say, here at the Takeaway Podcast, I'm Pastor Jarvis. Here at the Takeaway Podcast, it is our goal, is our intention to give those, to put those jumper cables to relationships, to help build and strengthen relationships, whether that's in the relationship between a man and a woman, a relationship in friends, in business, in ministry, in life. It's our goal to help to build relationships through transparency. We want to give you some tools through transparency. One thing we always want to give you here is transparency. It's something real. Every single time we want to be authentic, and that's our goal. I asked that, somebody shared this podcast with you on some platform. Somebody shared this podcast with you on some platform. And I'm asking that you would, I'm grateful that they did. And then I'm asking you that you would go ahead and subscribe, that you would share, that you would like and comment. We got some good stuff we're going to talk about today. And I really want to talk to you while you're riding down the road, while you may be watching me in whatever various platform. I really want to talk to you today about being real. I want to talk to you today about being real. And since we're on relationships, since it's always our goal to deal with relationship at some angle, I want to talk about being real in our relationships. I mean, from the jump, from the very start of this podcast today, I think the reality is many of us are living in relationships with unrealistic expectations. We're also living in relationships with unmet expectations. And those unmet expectations are because we have unrealistic expectations. We are literally requiring from our spouse, from our co-workers, from our boss, from people we're in relations or business or ministry with. We are requiring something from people, or expecting something from people, I should say. We're expecting something from people that we didn't even ask for. We're expecting someone to give us something that we didn't even say from the jump we require. Can you imagine going to a job and going to an interview and some kind of way, this doesn't happen these days, but some kind of way, not knowing what they pay, what hours you work, and then accepting the job without knowing what you're going to be paid, what hours you're going to work, what days you have off, and what days you get paid, right? Like, can you imagine missing all four of those things on a job? Listen, whoever would do something like that is someone that's going to be highly disappointed. Imagine those people not paying you that wage. Imagine the ways that you had in mind. You got a number in your head. Imagine the people not giving you the hours you need, so now you don't make enough money, and now there's some off the wall hours. All of that stuff would mess you up. I think as I bring this a little closer to home, many are listening or watching, and I've lived in relationships with people and I've lived with unmet expectations. And the reason for that is because my expectations were unrealistic. They were not clear. Let's stay there. The first C is clear. They were not clear. They were not clear. I didn't say I need this from you, and I'm expecting you to do this, and I will do this. I was not clear. Anybody around me knows I'm a macro manager. I'm not a micromanager. I don't ask people and stand over people. It drains energy of me. However, as a leader and as a father and as a husband and as a person in relationships with my friends and in business, I had to learn. I had to train myself, and I had to work on being clear in what my expectations are, what I needed from that person. And then I would ask those people, well, what do you need from me? What does that mean? So I think, first of all, if we're going to be real, if we're going to get our expectations met or not live under the umbrella of unrealistic expectations, I think the first thing we need to be is clear. Have you been clear this year? We're in February. Have you been clear this year with your spouse about some goals that you have? Have you been clear this year with your children about some things you want them to achieve or some things you want them to do? I'm a preacher, but I'm not trying to be preachery. But I do need to ask you, have you been clear, like for real, like with your friends? Like, have you been clear? Have you been clear in that ministry assignment or whatever thing that you have your hand on right now? Clearly, you may have a trainer and you're working on your health and your weight and various things and you just don't feel like you're getting it. Have you been clear? I think we live under this umbrella of unrealistic and unmet expectations because we're not clear. You know, clarity begins to free everything up, which moves me right into my next one, which is really competency. If a person is not, if we haven't been clear, we haven't given a person a chance to be competent, to really answer us and say, hey, I don't do that well. Like I don't go to Five Guys. I don't go to Five Guys Burger. The menu is up. I don't go to Five Guys Burger expecting to get a steak and cheese sandwich. I don't go there expecting to get a sub. I don't go there expecting to get a Big Mac. Why? Because they have clearly communicated on the thing that on the menu, right? That hey, we sell burgers. We sell this particular burger, these kind of particular fries, these particular things, because they're clear. Now they're also saying we're competent in this area. This is what we do. Sometimes our needs aren't met because we weren't clear. Yeah, but now a person doesn't even have to give us what we think they can give us. A perfect example with some of my family members and friends. My father was not really raised by his father. There was a lot of stuff he didn't receive from his father, man to man, that you would think one man would give another man. So now I'm at a level in my life, my father gives me camaraderie. My father gives me a man type of advice. And let me get this straight. My father is my dude. But there's some things that my father cannot give me because he never received. I had to outsource and get certain things for my life, for where I am right now, because my father had not been exposed to it. I'll go a little deeper about competency. I'm mentoring a young man that's very close to me. There's a few of them hanging around, and I love these young guys. And one guy never met his dad, and the guy never met his dad, and he's a father, and he's a ex everything kind of like me. And I out of nowhere, I'm praying and I'm doing some things, and I text him. I say, yo, you never met your father, but did you meet your grandfather? He says, no. I said, what about your grandfather on your mama's side? He said, no. I said, so man, you never had any men in your life to show you this father thing, That's why I was trying to encourage him, because he was beating himself up. I said, that's why you can't beat yourself up, man, because things could be so much worse. You're doing a great job with the information that you know. I told him, come over here, come get some books out of my bookshelf and various things. We'll move on from there. But I think we live under the umbrella of unrealistic expectations because we're not clear. And then others are not competent. Some people are not able to give you what you want. So check this out. Many of us are drinking from a fountain or trying to sip from a fountain of someone or some relationship, and the people actually don't have to give us what we need. That's why you got to be clear when you sit down to the table about what you need, who you are, where you're going towards, because many of us, that relationship will never work because they can't give you what you need. They don't have it to give. Anything they would give you in that area would not be authentic. It would not be them. It would be a copycat of someone else. And then you would still be frustrated and your expectations will still be unmet. I hope this is helping you today like it's helping me, because we set ourselves up for failure. We set ourselves up for failure, and because we expect people to provide something in a business relationship, in a loving relationship between a spouse, or in relationships even amongst siblings. Y'all plan the cookout. Jarvis said he was going to help pay. I promise you this is probably my family for real. Jarvis promised he was gonna help pay. Listen, I'm not coming early, I'm not staying late, I'm not cleaning up, I'm not buying paper products, I can't cook, right? My contribution is the payment. My contribution is the payment. And many are watching right now and you're mad because people expected you to do something that you never signed up for. I'm so glad I hit this before I move to my next one, because many people are upset with you. They're upset with you like they've been upset with me. They're upset with you about stuff you didn't agree to. You didn't even agree to it. You didn't agree to do it, but they're upset. Man, this unrealistic expectation thing go both ways. Jarvis could have did that. So-and-so could have helped me. They know they could, but hey, you didn't ask and I didn't know. So where are we supposed to go from here? Man, it's crazy because we got to be clear this year. This has to be the clearest year for you about what you will do and what you will not do. This has to be a year where we value competency, where we value those who are competent enough to do a particular thing. Hey, here's another one. It starts from the jump, but here's another one. We got to really ask people if they committed. We got to ask people, how long are they committing to a thing? Listen, I pastor a church, I run a nonprofit, I'm around several smart and intelligent young adults, and people ain't staying on the same job no more. It's a rare breed of people that stay in someplace 20 years. They trying to go where who making the most money, what's the best advantage for them and their family, right? So you got to ask people from the jump, are they committed? Are they committed to this venture for 6 months, for 9 months? This podcast started off as a thing I thought I was going to do for a year, but I committed myself to a year. Like, what are you committing to? And have you asked others, are they committed to you? Are they committed to that thing you want them to do? I mean, like people fall in and people fall out. What are you necessarily committed to? Have you made that clear? Like, hey, I'm committing to this for this amount of time. It's somebody that works with me in a different venue. They say, hey, pastor, you got me for the rest of this year. But next year, I'm gonna try some other things and I'm not gonna have as much time. What are you saying? What I'm saying is that person has already told me in January that next January, they're not going to have as much time to devote a thing. So I need to give them the best that I can the next 10 months or so. And then I need to learn as much as I can from them as I bring somebody else in to fill that gap. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Because the reality is we have to be clear. The reality is we have to value competency and actually discover it, find out, ask the right questions, right? And then we have to be committed. We have to be committed, or we at least need to know if a person is committed or not. Somebody is good with a temporary person or a temporary person. That's why they have temp service and staffing agencies. Somebody is okay. Some company is okay with a temporary worker. Some relationships are okay for somebody to fill in to meet a need for a particular time to sit in someone's stead. And there are people signing up to be in your life, to be around you forever, and you don't want them to be. You just having fun. You just want to talk to somebody. You just want to, network. Somebody else is coming in full speed. They coming in to seal the deal. They coming in to be around forever. Are you okay with that? Have you been clear about that? Or are you setting that person up to be extremely hostile towards you because they thought it was going to last forever and you just wanted it part-time? I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about people coming for the long haul and others not wanting to commit. Relationships now, I'm so glad I'm married. Praise the Lord. Relationships now, they have situationships. They have situations. People are not rushing to get married as they were in days past. Does everybody want to get married? Well, some people just want to hook up. Some people just want to be around each other. Some people are past that age of just all the touching. They just want to be around people. Hey, I want to bring it all together. So we have being clear, we have being competent, we have somebody with a level of competency. We have also being committed. Here's one that's really gonna hit home, my fourth one, and that's chemistry. Chemistry. Many times relationships goals are not met, or we're living under unrealistic expectation. That big umbrella is covering us. We can't see anything else because the chemistry just isn't there. We don't work together. It's like a NBA player or a NFL quarterback. He doesn't throw the ball just to the receiver. He throws it to a spot. He throws it to an area, and because Kelsey and the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, because of this young man and Kelsey's chemistry, because they get down so much and they work together, he doesn't have to throw it to him. He can throw it in the area. And the receiver just knows how to get open and how to get to the ball. It's that chemistry of a basketball player where he just alley-oops and he looks another way and his teammate grabs the ball and just begins to dunk it. It's that chemistry with church musicians or musicians who they not talking in the talkback mic all the time. They can just look at each other and they feel it and they groove, and it's your turn, and it's your turn. It's that chemistry between a spouse and or a person, a man and a woman, and they dance, and you just move, and you just groove, and you do your thing because we've done this before. And we used to each other, and hey, Lois, we like each other. It's chemistry. It's chemistry. Many expectations are unmet, and people live there because they don't like each other. They just doing it to get paid. They just doing it to be a part of something. But there has to be a chemistry as you sit on a board for a nonprofit. You got to like what them people do. It has to be a chemistry in work. And I never understood. I know everybody got to get paid, but I never understood why people would stay at a job a long time that's not making a whole bunch of money, and you don't even like what you do. You don't even feel like what you do is necessary. I'm talking about chemistry. Chemistry is not a thing. It's the only thing. If you don't have chemistry in a relationship, how do we expect it to work? Last but certainly not least, let's be careful. Let's carefully consider others that we're in relationship with. Let's carefully consider the people that we're in relationship with. Let's care about people and care about how what we do or don't do will affect them. Let's be careful. This is a year to be careful. Don't play with people's emotions. Don't play with people's feelings. Don't play with people's money. Don't play with people's investment in you or in what you all have together. Let's be careful. I try my best to write little thank you cards and call people or go out of my way. Even if I'm oversent, I want people to know that I'm grateful because nobody has to be nice. Nobody has to be nice. And we need to be real about if we've been grateful or thankful to people. Have we told them? Have we shown them? Have we gone out of our way? Not every day, not every time, but have we gone out of our way to tell somebody thank you, to show our appreciation to someone? And people would say, hey, whatever, I'm paying them. They getting paid for it. What does that mean? They can get paid for it anywhere. So let this year, let this month be a time where we're extremely careful. Let's pay attention to people with all that's going on with folks and their mental health and breakdowns and pressure and struggle. Let's look at the ones that we're in real relationship with. Let's be careful. Let's be careful how we treat them. Now, I'm a preacher. I got to give you a verse, I guess, right? You know, the Bible talks about the woman being the weaker vessel, not that she's weak. Yeah, I mean, y'all make babies, but she's fragile, right? So you have to handle her with care. We have to handle these relationships with care. I'll close with this story. There's a young man that I think we have a pretty decent relationship. We fell out a couple years back or so, and we recently made up, whatever that looks like. Meaning we talked as men. There weren't other people in between. I didn't hear much from him while he was mad at me. I heard much from other people about either what he said or how he felt, how they thought he felt. Finally, some time ago when it all happened, I'm sitting in a room with him and others, and I tell these guys in the room, y'all stop talking. He's sitting right there. He's smart. He's intelligent. He's sitting right there. Let him talk for himself. As we made up sometime not too long ago, one of the things I brought up, or I often reflect about, is how other people got in and start speaking for us. If you really want your relationship to work, whatever field that is, you're gonna need to be clear. You're gonna need to be committed. Not in this order. You're gonna need to be clear. You're gonna need to be committed. You're gonna have to be honest about what you can do, about your level of competency. You're gonna have some chemistry. You're gonna have to go out of your way sometime. You're gonna have to care and work with others, and then you're gonna have to be careful, right? You're gonna have to be careful. So glad that God's doing something or has done something with that relationship when I got my ego out the way and he got his ego out of the way. I said all that to say, to bring this all together, that we got to be real. If relationships are work in whatever field, and if you're not willing to put in the work, then don't expect that relationship to be worthwhile. Love you.